And if you ask me her apology she had today, initially, it was, yeah, I did it and I'll do it again apology.
So we were both abusive, mentally, verbally, physically, everything. And if I'm going to be on this and keeping it real, as we've been abusive to most of this relationship.
I didn't know him, I didn't do anything wrong, but the fact that you guys are doing this to me and he's the man in this situation, I'm gonna comply. I am. I'm not gonna argue with you at all. But you had me on camera, but at the same time, what he has on camera, when I have my phone, shows something different. So if I need to show that, I will.
So Cory Holcomb didn't just say Sha'Carri Richardson was messy, he came straight for her credibility. On his podcast in front of thousands of people, Cory ripped open the one thing Sha'Carri had been clinging to, the story that she was the victim in her relationship with Christian Coleman. And the way Cory did it, he didn't just shade her like other comedians do, he flat out accused her of lying about being in a DV situation, and then pulled out the receipts that flipped the entire narrative. And now, the whole internet is locked in, asking the same thing. If Cory's right, how long has Sha'Carri been lying about being the victim?
She's a liar. He lied about a couple things that's personally, just in a relationship. I pretty much officers can understand what a relationship is about, but he lied. He's a liar. Okay. And that was something that I kind of just grasped, and emotionally, I'm just like, bet you do your thing, but...
Because Sha'Carri's not just dealing with backlash from the internet, she's raging, furious that someone as loud and unfiltered as Cory Holcomb has put her on blast. Because once Cory starts talking, you know he's not taking it back. But before we get into the meltdown Sha'Carri's having right now, let's rewind for a second. Because this entire story only makes sense when you see just how long she's been playing the victim card, and how badly Cory's exposure cut through that front. The trigger moment didn't come from Sha'Carri herself. It came when Cory Holcomb pulled up on his show and said what a lot of fans had been whispering for months. Cory looked at the camera, sighed, and said Sha'Carri is dead wrong for trying to land Christian in jail despite being the one who put hands on him, because she knows that in this type of situation, she has leverage on him.
This thing here is something that I see too often, where you try and get the male that's with you in trouble with the authorities because most of the time you have leverage over the male when you say something's wrong. I don't like people who do that in this society. If you are a female who tries to use her gender to get the man you with arrested intentionally. They saw her throwing headphones at the man and everything. But when the police came, she acted like it was the other way around. I can't forgive you for that.
That one line set social media on fire, because up until then, Sha'Carri had been trying to salvage her image by painting herself as the one who got hurt, the one who deserved sympathy, but Cory wasn't having it. He didn't just call her out for lying, he exposed the manipulation, the pattern, and the way she weaponized sympathy to dodge consequences. And when Cory calls you a liar, it sticks, and that's when Sha'Carri lost it. She started raging online, firing shots at Cory, threatening legal action, and trying to drag him for being insensitive. But the thing is, Cory wasn't making stuff up. He was pointing at the same footage everyone else had seen. See, Sha'Carri's lie didn't come out of nowhere. There had been signs long before Cory called her out. Let's go back to when Sha'Carri and Christian Coleman first became a couple. On the surface, it looked like the perfect sports power duo. Flashy, confident Sha'Carri and quiet, disciplined Christian. People called them track and field's IT couple. But behind the cameras, the cracks were showing. Christian's family noticed it first. They saw how Sha'Carri controlled the relationship. Christian canceling family dinners because Sha'Carri needed him, or avoiding phone calls because she was always around. Even teammates whispered about it. And the red flags were there in Christian's behavior too. Every time someone criticized Sha'Carri, he jumped to defend her like his life depended on it. Not out of love, out of fear. But see, Cory's accusation about Sha'Carri lying in a DV situation isn't some random smear. It matches a pattern she's been running for years. Take her past with ex-girlfriend Janique Brown. Janique opened up about all this in an interview with podcaster Kareem Boyadings, and you could tell she wasn't there to gain sympathy or point fingers. She just wanted the truth to be out there. According to Janique, the relationship was mentally, verbally, and physically abusive on both parts. Janique's reaction when the interviewer asked if she would ever go back to that relationship says everything. Not only did she flinch before responding, she called the relationship a painful lesson she was glad to be out of.
Did the toxicness get physical? Because there were claims that she was being abused, but the last conversation that you and I had, you also said that it was on both ends.
Yes, we were both abusive, mentally, verbally, physically, everything. And if I'm going to be on this and keeping it real, as we've been abusive to most of this relationship, and other people, there's people who've seen that, people who know that, you know, and will still honestly come and go, toxic, push and pull, and still get over the obstacles, until I said, I have learned my lesson. I don't want to go over no more of these obstacles, right? With the same thing. So it's time for me to cut the ties and learn the lesson and move on, right? Me moving on now is where we've been abusive come about, like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know what is the reason for posting that now. Is that a strategy? Is that something for marketing? Is that for business? I don't know, because you still have my email, right? And you know, my mailbox is empty. As I said, there's no mail in there. So for the people out there telling me what to say about charge, mom, she put it on the internet, so more answer on the internet, right? If they're going to charge me, they're going to charge me. If they're not going to charge me, they're going to charge me. And I doubt that, because we both have our receipts and stuff.
Now, in case anyone was wondering, Janique didn't decide to air out her and Sha'Carri's relationship drama unprovoked. She did it in response to Sha'Carri's Instagram stories, where she basically pinned the whole thing on Janique and made her look like a crazy, abusive ex. The post read, "I was in a relationship with a Jamaican athlete that never cared about me from the jump. I was abused and stolen from, yet protected her from the judgment of her country and family while they dragged me. I had to deal with homophobia and so much more that I'm still healing from." Sha'Carri's attempt to play the victim card worked perfectly, because Janique got canceled immediately after that post went up, until eventually Janique was forced to come out with her side of the story. And even then, she still tried to protect Sha'Carri by excusing her post as damage control. Mind you, this was after revealing that Sha'Carri had threatened her and worked with some people to bring about her downfall. Even as she talks about it, you can hear the slight tremble in her voice, like she's reliving a nightmare. That's why Cory's call-out stings so much, because he isn't inventing a new story, he's exposing a pattern that started with Janique, bled into Christian, and proves Sha'Carri has been flipping the victim narrative for years. So nobody was shocked when the airport footage with Christian Coleman leaked. Well, except Sha'Carri, who immediately tried to spin it. But here's the thing, the footage didn't lie. Sha'Carri was the aggressor. Over and over, you see her shoving Christian, hitting him even when he tried to walk away. Watch closely. Christian's body language tells the entire story. He doesn't flinch like this is new. He freezes, head down, shoulders hunched, like a man used to this. That one clip destroyed Sha'Carri's narrative, but instead of owning it, she doubled down. When police showed up, Sha'Carri switched into full victim mode. First, she tried to dismiss it as a regular couple's fight. Then, when she realized she was getting arrested, she turned on Christian. She called him a coward, accused him of setting her up, and even claimed he put hands on her.
So you hear me, right? So this is the position that Christian Coleman puts me into, okay? Because he's a coward, and I don't want anything to do with him at this point going forward. My name is Sha'Carri Richardson. Have no problem with letting you know who I am. Haven't put my hands on him. We had an argument. I will be honest about that. Okay. An argument, and that's pretty much it. The argument, pretty much, he's a liar. He lied about a couple things that's personally, you know, just in a relationship. I pretty much, officers can understand what a relationship is about, but he lied. He's a liar, and that was something that I kind of just grasped, and emotionally, I'm just like, bet you do your thing, but you're asking me for things that is within my possession, and for my right, I don't have to give it to you because it's in my possession. But when it came to the point that I saw that he chose to make it more about the police and things of that nature, that showed that he made a choice. So I just want to be more professional and just come professionally and let you guys know, like, hey, relationship thing, have no problem,
so
and walking up to you guys.
It's not legal to argue,
right?
Mm-hmm. Was there any type of physical?
No. I didn't touch him, he didn't touch me. I will be honest.
Hit him with anything?
No, I haven't hit him with anything.
Like that?
Christian, are you serious right now?
So man,
Christian.
Washington State, he doesn't get a say.
But I understand, we were arguing. But I understand entirely. We were arguing. Okay, I'm not gonna resist. But I'm telling you that we was arguing. I didn't him. I didn't do anything wrong. But the fact that your guys are doing this to me and he's the man in this situation, I'm gonna comply. I am. I'm not gonna argue with you at all. But you have me on camera, but at the same time, what he has on camera, I have my phone, shows something different. So if I need to show that, I will. Okay, but I have my phone that shows something different. But Christian, thank you, Christian.
Don't talk to him right now.
Okay, I won't. Thank you so much, officer. They are arresting me right now, Christian. Sissy, they're arresting me right now. Am I gonna go actually to jail right now?
You are actually gonna go to jail.
Wait, but right now,
yes, it's a physical
I didn't. Can he tell you that I didn't do nothing to him?
We have it on camera.
Christian, are you serious right now?
Alright.
Christian, I'm about to go to jail because of you right now. You know what? Okay. Okay.
That's the lie Cory Holcomb exposed. He said Sha'Carri knew how the system worked, and she planned to take full advantage of that, even if Christian lost everything in the process. He even cited a personal story about his son, how he warned his son to avoid women who have a violent streak, like Sha'Carri, and how his son refused to listen, only to end up catching a DV charge and getting sent to a rehab program while the lady who set him up walked free.
He's 24.
Already? Oh my goodness.
He is doing something to help himself now because he know I was finna be through with him. Because he had a girlfriend, his mother told me that girl likes to fight him. And I told him, hey man, let me tell you something about a girl who likes to fight. You're the one that's gonna get in trouble for it. I don't care how much she hits you. If she hits you, you're supposed to get away from her. Because you only human, you're gonna hit her back. And when you hit her back, you're gonna get in trouble. Long story short, he called a domestic for hitting her. And I'm like, what did you think was gonna happen?
Fans were hanging on to every word that came out of Cory's lips because he didn't just call Sha'Carri a liar, he showed exactly how she twisted the story and why the world needed to stop protecting her. They left comments like, had no idea Sha'Carri Richardson was abusive like that, but I'm not surprised. Sha'Carri Richardson is an abuser, but no peep from sponsors or Olympic committee? Interesting, but then came the real shocker. Christian himself. Instead of standing up for himself, he defended Sha'Carri. In an interview, he said she needed grace and help, not punishment. He looked broken, rehearsed, like he was reading lines someone forced on him.
I feel like it was just a sucky situation all around. Like, I don't feel as if like she should have been arrested. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you know, people have discussions and emotions and stuff like that. And she have like things that she needs to work on for herself, of course. And so do I, so do you, like everybody. And I'm the type of guy, like, I'm in the business of just like extending grace and mercy and love. And I feel as if like I don't try to look at obstacles either. Like, I just look at like situations like this to just like, you know, take a step back, analyze yourself mentally, and then just try to see what you can do to be your best self so that you can move forward, so you can just be the type of person and a human that God needs you to be for his kingdom and for his glory. And so that's kind of how I look at the situation. And like,
fans caught it immediately. Christian could barely make eye contact. His words felt scripted. His body language screamed fear. Cory replayed that clip too, pointing out how Sha'Carri had manipulated him into defending her. And that's when Sha'Carri started raging, because Cory wasn't just coming for her. He was ripping apart the fake image she built. Sha'Carri couldn't take the heat. First, she dropped an apology video. It was 1 minute long, and she smiled through the whole thing like it was a joke. She said she was reflecting, taking accountability, but the vibe was all wrong. It didn't look like remorse. It looked like a performance.
Hey y'all, it's Sha'Carri, and more than anything, definitely a lot of self-reflection, a lot of understanding of not only putting myself in a compromised situation, but somebody that I have a deep care and appreciation for as well is something that holding myself accountable. I see myself, I'm taking this time to not only see myself, but get myself a certain level of help that overall is going to reflect who I truly am in my heart and my spirit.
Cory tore that apart too. He mocked her on air, saying, "That ain't no apology. That's somebody laughing at y'all while she gets away with it." Fans agreed, flooding Twitter with posts like, "And yet her apology video seemed without an ounce of remorse. Sickening. This is a language 101. He needs to get away from her before he ends up unalived." Then, Sha'Carri tried again with a long IG story directed at Christian. "My apologies should be just as loud as my actions. Honestly, louder. To Christian, I love you, and I am so sorry." But by then, nobody was buying it. Comments were brutal, some straight up calling her on her BS, while others clamoring for her to be removed from the league. She apologizing for the video, not the action, but I digress. God forgives too. Sha'Carri Richardson is an abuser, but no peep from sponsors or Olympic committee? Interesting. And Cory kept the pressure on. He reposted those fan reactions, highlighting how Sha'Carri's facade was slowly fading. Meanwhile, fellow athletes and even close friends and family pitched their tent with Christian. They were sick of Sha'Carri's manipulation tactics, and they started reposting cryptic posts like, "No matter how good you think it is, there's always better. choose yourself. That's when the fallout hit Sha'Carri hardest. Not only was Cory dismantling her story publicly, but the people closest to Christian were rallying against her too. And that's when Sha'Carri started losing it, ranting in private, raging at friends, threatening lawsuits against Cory, even claiming the world was conspiring to ruin her. But the louder she got, the more obvious it became that she was losing. Now here's where everything collapses. Christian, silent. He vanished online. No posts, no statements, no defense, nothing. The last anyone saw of him was a flight overseas, and the silence since then says everything.